located on a small peninsula between the city of Krabi and Onang on Thailand's Andaman coast. Despite appearing to be an island, Railay is physically connected to the mainland, however steep cliffs isolate it completely from any road access. Boats are the only practical way in or out, and this constraint is central to why the beaches retain such a striking visual character. The most defining feature of the beach is the vertical limestone landscape that surrounds it. The cliffs are part of a much larger system that extends across southern Thailand and into Malaysia. Here, the cliffs rise directly from the sand, which creates a dramatic boundary between the beach and forest. The sand here is lightly colored and fine-grained, composed of large eroded limestone and shell material, and its texture is consistent along most of the shore, and the beach slopes gently into the sea. The watercolor here shifts with depth and tide. Shallow areas near the shore appear pale turquoise due to the reflective seabed, while deeper channels take on a darker blue-green tone. From the shoreline, your eye will move immediately upwards to the sheer rock faces covered in vegetation. These cliffs are known for rock climbing, and climbing routes are regulated and documented due to safety concerns. But the presence of climbers is visible and doesn't significantly alter the physical environment. Railay consists of several distinct beaches, including West, East, Pranang Beach. Railay West is the most open and visually expansive, while Pranang is partially enclosed by cliffs and known for its shallow caves and rock overhangs. Some development exists, but it's constrained by the regulations here. Resorts and facilities are present, yet they're built behind the tree line and don't extend onto the sand itself. There's no roads or parking lots and large-scale infrastructure visible from the beach, and that separation preserves the uninterrupted sight lines between the sand and sea. Tidal changes here do affect the appearance of the beach. At low tide, exposed sand flats extend outward, while at high tide the beach will narrow and waves reach closer to the vegetation. The cliffs also create a sense of isolation, with the wide horizon over the Andaman Sea preventing the space from feeling confined. The beach's appearance is the result of tidal movement and restricted access rather than any curated development. Nothing about its layout is accidental, yet nothing was designed, so the scenery exists because the landscape makes alternatives impossible. Number 4. Zlatni Rat. It's located on the southern coast of the island of Brač in Croatia, and it's one of the most unusual beaches in Europe. It's often referred to as the Golden Horn. This beach extends outward into the Adriatic Sea in a narrow, tapering shape that's distinctive and documented. Unlike most beaches, Zlatni Rat does not have a fixed outline. Its pointed tip will shift subtly over time, influenced by wind direction and wave patterns. Studies conducted along the Dalmatian coast confirm that the movement is real, though gradual, and the beach doesn't rotate dramatically from day to day, but the precise shape is not permanent. The beach is composed almost entirely of smooth, white pebbles rather than sand. These pebbles originate from nearby formations and have been rounded by wave action over a long period of time. The beach extends roughly 500 meters from the shoreline with water on both sides of the spit, and this creates two distinct swimming environments depending on the wind. On one side, the water may be calm and glassy. On the other, small waves may form at the same time. The surrounding water is clear due to low nutrient content of the Adriatic and the absence of any nearby river discharges. The visibility is typically high, especially in calmer conditions, and the seabed drops off gradually along the sides of the spit, which enhances the contrast between the shallow turquoise water and the deeper blue further out. Behind the beach lies a dense pine forest that provides a dark green backdrop. The contrast here with the white pebbles, the blue water, and the green forest is one of Zlatni Rat's defining visual characteristics. Access to the beach is pretty straightforward. It's got footpaths connecting it to the nearby town of Bol. Despite popularity, though, large-scale construction is kept away from the shoreline. Croatian coastal regulations restrict development near the high water mark. But what makes Zlatni Rat scenic is motion frozen in time. The beach looks dynamic even when it's still, because its shape implies movement. Unlike enclosed bays or cliff-back beaches, it's exposed on all sides, which makes the relationship between land and sea immediately visible. The appearance of it reflects constant interaction between wind, water, and stone, and it's captured in a shape that's both delicate and durable. It's that tension is what makes it visually unforgettable. Number 3. Lanikai Beach. It's located on the windward side of Oahu in the community of Kailua, and it's consistently cited in coastal studies for its combination of fine sand, shallow reef-protected waters, and stable shoreline form. The beach is relatively short here, extending for roughly half a mile, but what distinguishes it visually is the uninterrupted alignment between the shoreline, lagoon, and the offshore islets. The Mokulua Islands, two small step islets composed primarily of basalt, sit directly offshore. Surveys identify these islands as remnants of an ancient volcano. They're related to Oahu's formation, and their position creates some balance in the coastal view. The sand here is exceptionally fine and light in color, composed largely of calcium carbonate. Grain size studies conducted across windward Oahu confirm that this type of sediment reflects light efficiently, which helps with the beach's brightness even under diffuse cloud cover. The sand gradually extends into the water, which creates a shallow, near-shore zone that enhances the water color. A fringing reef system lies just offshore, parallel to the beach, and that reduces any incoming wave energy from the Pacific. Lenikai faces east, which does help its appearance. Morning light will illuminate the water and sand directly, producing soft color gradients rather than any harsh contrast. The lighting effect is predictable, and one of the reasons the beach appears especially vivid and early in the day. The afternoon conditions often bring a stronger trade wind, which can roughen the water surface but doesn't fundamentally alter the beach's structure. There are no hotels, resorts, or beachfront businesses here. Public access exists through narrow pathways between the private properties and a layout that limits large crowds and preserves the visual continuity along the shoreline. The local zoning and coastal regulations restrict construction height and shoreline modification. There are some environmental concerns here. Rising sea levels and coastal erosion are monitored across Oahu, including here, and some shoreline hardening exists in the broader area, though this beach itself has not undergone any large-scale artificial nourishment. Photographs from the mid-20th century show that while minor shifts have happened, the overall form of the beach has remained recognizable. There are no dramatic cliffs or extreme colors here. Instead, the beach presents a near-ideal alignment of sand texture, water color, and background elements. Everything's visible all at once, and nothing competes for your attention. The scenery here is not accidental, but neither is it engineered. It's coastal environment that has changed slowly and predictably, which is increasingly rare in heavily visited regions like this one. Number 2. Located on the uninhabited island of Phi Phi Le in southern Thailand is Maya Bay, and it's one of the most visually enclosed beaches in the world. Its character is defined by geometry rather than length. The bay is almost completely surrounded by limestone cliffs that rise up from the water, creating a near-circular natural enclosure. The beach itself is relatively small, measuring only a few hundred meters across. The sand is pale and fine-grained, formed from coral and shell fragments typical of tropical marine environments. Its color and texture reflect light strongly, which does contribute to the bay's bright appearance even when sunlight is indirect. Prior to heavy tourism here, marine surveys documented healthy coral coverage and a diverse fish population. However, Maya Bay became a case study in environmental impact after years of unrestricted visitation following its rise in global popularity in the early 2000s. In response to coral damage, Thailand's Department of National Parks closed Maya Bay to all visitors in 2018. Monitoring during the closure recorded signs of coral regrowth and improved marine conditions, and the bay reopened under strict regulations in 2022. The water clarity now within Maya Bay varies with the tide and weather, but the absence of any river runoff and the protected shape of the bay generally support a clear condition. The shallow depth near the shore enhances the color variation, while the deeper central areas appear darker blue. What makes Maya Bay scenic is containment. The cliffs eliminate distant horizons.